No thoughtful individual should hesitate to accept Hindu Dharma as global Dharma. It possesses all the distinctions that could convince the world's intellectual class that it satisfies the needs of becoming universal Dharma. Book title: धर्म तंत्र से लोक शिक्षण, प्रयोग और उपलब्धियां. Literal translation: Educating the masses through Dharma System, Experiments and Achievements. Book introduction. Do we need Dharma to educate the masses in modern day world we live in? The basis of a bright future is dependent on a brilliant personality equipped with eminent thinking and ideal actions. While many can earn riches, only people with a brilliant personality and sagacious thinking can utilize it wisely to do good to themselves as well as to others. On the contrary, we hear every now and then about people becoming rich but ending up ruining themselves due to lack of wisdom. Dharma helps people to develop their inner core, including far-sightedness. The present rusted form of Dharma is but a phantom of its magnificent past. In India, a large number of people are working or volunteering for Dharma and related fields. The amount of money flowing through the system is second only to that of the government institutions. In addition, the majority of people have some sort of faith in Dharma, whether it is active or dormant. If actual Dharma can be awakened and given proper direction, the nation would greatly benefit from the immense workforce, worthy personalities, wealth, resources, and enthusiasm it would bring along, which could be utilized in its development. India's freedom movement and Yug Nirman Yojana, or the mega plan of rebuilding the era, are its living examples. The institution of Dharma seems to be studded with distortions and has lost people's trust. How could it be revived to shoulder such a monumental task? In ancient times, Dharma had played a crucial role in enabling India to become Jagat Guru, or a world spiritual teacher. It can certainly be done again if the system is reformed to bring back its original sheen, adapted to the modern day needs and made easily accessible to the masses. How can Dharma be made practical and effective? The author has experimented reforming the Dharma system with gratifying results, and it is now being implemented widely. It is known as Yug Nirman Yojana, or the mega plan of rebuilding the era. The book narrates its Yug Nirman Yojana step by step, the evolution including the organizational development, the reforms in Dharma practices, high standard yet economic publications, plain translations of commentary on scriptures and their publication in many languages to make it easily accessible to all. Apart from it, creating awareness and fighting against evil traditions, free training camps for all volunteers and people, and promoting cottage industries to empower women and rural communities, women awakening and empowerment, improving literacy and numeracy, especially among the elderly and women, and the revival of ancient pilgrimage tradition, and many more. The practice of Gayatri, that was so far restricted only to a few people, was made accessible to all, including women and men. Yajna was made accessible and affordable to all, so much so that even the poorest of the poor could afford it. Every day people are being trained and empowered to perform it, which was once the domain of the specialist priests. All these have enthused the masses, inspired them to contribute their time and resources for the betterment of society and nation, which has even enabled volunteer drive national level projects like massive tree plantation movements, cleansing of water reservoirs, river Ganga and other rivers, and health, education and so on. Few excerpts from the book. There are plenty of efforts being made by various groups and in multiple styles to help increase the happiness and prosperity of an individual and society. So many facilities are being created and run to help them improve their wealth, business and earnings. However, their success is dependent on one single foundation, which is the personality of the people running them. Any one-sided effort towards increasing wealth of people wouldn't be helpful. It is also essentially needs the development of personalities dedicated to ideals and worthy character to go along with it. This task can be accomplished through the institution of Dharma, and then too, so much easier and to such a greater extent that wouldn't be possible by any other means. Commenting on the unworthy beliefs and practices prevailing in the Dharma system, the author advises that the disease needs to be eradicated and the patient's life needs to be saved. This is the only strategy that would prove worthwhile. All the distortions which have crept into the institution of Dharma need to be eradicated. All the vested interests need to be stopped from exploiting it. But at the same time, the soul of Dharma and people's faith in it needs to be preserved. Shraddha, which is devotion or reverence, has its own inherent power. The inner excellence of an individual is very much dependent on it. If the institution of Dharma happens to be completely wiped out, the people's faith in the ideals would also come to an end. Just the way material progress of a nation is important, so is the thinking and emotional advancement of its citizens. The higher the intellectual, moral and societal level we achieve, greater is the realization of our comprehensive development possibilities. Regarding the innovative idea, author came up regarding educating the masses through the Dharma system. I saw a dual advantage of adopting the approach of educating the masses through the Dharma system. The first one is that people will have an opportunity to understand the genuine form of Dharma and its utility, to enable them to remain dedicated to its values, which is in fact a firm foundation of human excellence. Secondly, utilizing the manpower and resources mobilized through Dharma process in fulfilling the broader needs of the current era could produce miraculous results. It would indeed go a long way in serving a very important objective if various faiths could be prevented from having hatred and disunity and made to create universal fellow feeling and to engage in noble activities. Spirituality is the philosophical aspect of Dharma and has been elaborated further in Brahma Vidya or Tattva Darshan, meaning the divine knowledge about the absolute reality. The other aspect of Dharma is ritually oriented, which involves various yoga practices, tapa or penance, upasana or worship, and other Dharma observances. Both are complementary to each other. Integration of both establishes the complete makeup of Dharma. The philosophical aspect can be ingrained through Swadhyay or the study of the sacred text, satsang or listening to noble people, or contemplation on these ideas, katha or narratives, and the discourses. The impressive beauty of and the activities involved in rituals, along with the togetherness of many people attending it, creates an ardent enthusiasm. Visual and auditory activities help create a supportive psychological atmosphere. People of antiquated mindset used to get havan or fire ceremony performed by Brahmins and wouldn't let women take part in it. We got rid of all of these restrictions in our events. Everyone would chant mantras together and take part in all procedures with equal opportunity. This reform process eliminated the usual dominance of commercial priests and established a novel, wider cooperation in the field of Dharma. On great achievements realized through the reforms in Dharma practices. If other religious institutions had adopted these meritorious practices, Bharat would have again regained its past grand glory of 30 crores or 330 million citizens being regarded as 33 crore deities. Once upon a time, the land of Bharat was regarded as even better than heaven, and Bharat was known as Jagadguru or world's spiritual teacher. This greatness was developed against the backdrop of people's devotion to Dharma. On how the author made the so far expensive religious observances easily accessible to the masses. The special feature of our approach was the maximum appeal and minimum expenditure, as well as training as many people as possible to able to conduct them. Our approach of conducting yagya or fire ceremony became very popular because of the way of conducting rituals, the correct pronunciation of mantras, great vigilance amongst the performers, excellent self-discipline throughout communicating the meaning of mantras and their definitions, tailored to the audience, conveying the teachings each rituals imparts, and so on. As Dev Dakshina or offering an honorarium to deities, the participants were asked to give up one unworthy habit or quality and adopt one good habit or a good quality. This was set as the standard to gauge the success of the event. Rama's character is brimming with everything that is needed to build an ideal character for an individual and an ideal family. Krishna's character abounds in very inspiring elements needed to build an ideal society. Krishna's character also nicely integrates how one can fulfill everyday dharma in an everyday situation and gear up for emergency dharma in times of crisis. It also offers sagacious integration of the rise and the fall happening in the makeup of the society from time to time and their pertinent solutions. It wouldn't be an exaggeration if Rama is called dharma and Krishna is called moral policy. Dharma symbolizes simple and straightforward nature, and moral policy symbolizes fairness. Both are important in their own place. In any intermediary situation, every ordinary individual should integrate both and adopt the ideal of dharma, niti, or the policy of dharma. Few topics covered in the book are educating the masses through Dharma System, experiments and achievements, ancient Dharma System tested with modern methods, Yug Nirman Yojana or the mega plan of rebuilding the era, it is beginning and expansion, Gayatri and Yagya and their educational applications, the institutions of Gayatri, Tapobhumi and Shanti Kunj and their central roles, Dharma in its meaningful form, scriptures, noble literature of practical spirituality, Katha or narratives and their educational values, a small family of Gayatri Parivar, a big achievement, women awakening movement, ancient tradition of pilgrimage and its modern revival, training camps at Shanti Kunj.